with the Byte Extra Crunchy Podcast and your host, Mr. Brian Tong.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Beecham, welcome. It is episode 86. This is kind of a special episode just from a standpoint of we are just a few days away from WWDC 2017. It's kind of a big deal, Beach.
Hell yeah, Monday, live show, big live show for WWDC.
Oh yeah, huge live show that we're going to put on that. If you are familiar with what CNET brings to the table. But this is the Byte Extra Crunchy. We are going to jump into the big topics, the big things we expect to see, just a lot of stuff to dig in. And quite honestly, I'm actually really excited about this show. But before we get to that, 1-800-616-2638. That is the number for you guys and gals to call in, leave your name, tell us where you're from. And because this is going to be the show after WWDC, I want to hear your reactions. We want to hear what you thought. Maybe tell us the thing that stood out the most to you. We're going to preview some of these things. So yeah, it might feel like we're talking about it again the week after, but really this is like what we anticipate, some of the things to look out for. And then we're going to see what Apple actually does. So 1-800-616-2638. That's how you become a part of the show. We have our friends live streaming with us on YouTube, Periscope, live stream. They're part of the conversation. So sometimes when my eyes can go to different places, I can kind of dip in and see what you guys are saying, guys and gals are saying as well. But let's just jump into the show right off the top. And I don't know if you can pull this up, Beach, but in the B-roll notes, I asked a question to the masses on Twitter because I kind of like to get the pulse of what people are saying. And I basically sent out a tweet, and it was, can you see that, Beach?
Oh, I got it, baby.
Okay, cool. So I basically put out a tweet asking everyone, what hotly rumored WWDC product do you want to see the most?
Ooh,
okay, so
I'm going to answer this. Is that okay?
You need to answer this right now, yeah.
Okay,
what are you gonna go for?
Let's see. We got Siri speaker, 10. I don't care about the iPad Pro, MacBook. I don't care. iOS, MacOS, WatchOS, TVOS. It's a toss-up between the Siri speaker and the fourth one, iOS. I'm going to choose Siri speaker.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm going to
Let's
vote.
for that.
Ooh.
Okay,
Ooh.
And the results are in. So this is really interesting. So the options we had, again, were Siri speaker, 10.5-inch iPad Pro, MacBook Pros, and the new operating systems. 24% of respondents, we have over 288 votes at the moment. 24% are interested in the Siri speaker. I think that's gaining a little more buzz now as it feels like it's going to happen. 13% said 10.5-inch iPad Pro. It's the lowest of the four options. 17% said a refresh of the MacBook Pros, which we expect the new KB Lake processors. And then a whopping 46% want iOS, macOS, WatchOS, and TVOS. And that makes sense because, come on, it's WWDC. It's all about, the software that drives our devices. But another thing is really, how does this software kind of indicate what Apple is doing moving forward with the iPhone and other devices as well? Now, I do want to say why this is going to be an exciting show. I think this is probably one of the best, the iPhone is leaked all over the place. I think WWDC this year is one of the best kept secrets or best events that we really don't know too much about from Apple. Like, we don't know any real concrete details about iOS 11. Like, things have not leaked out. iOS 11 for the iPad, things have not leaked out. macOS, whatever it is, it's not going to be macOS Sierra anymore. We don't really know what they're going to do with it, and we don't really know what they're going to do with watchOS either. So the fact that those four things have very little details that have leaked out, I don't know about you, Beach, but that actually excites me.
Yeah, I mean, because we're going to get a big surprise when we get to see it unveiled at WWDC. And we've been getting a lot of calls like...
Say that again.
WWDC.
You said it so fast. You're like, WWDC.
Yeah, because I started talking, I hear myself talking, I'm like, I need to speed this up. But yeah, we got a lot of calls. People are excited. They want to see a refresh. They want to see a redesign. I know I'm getting sick of looking at my phone and seeing the same squares. Maybe I move them around a little bit, make them different, but it is getting a little tired,
Now, I think one of the lead things that no one is really talking about in iOS 11, I mean, people are talking about it, but they're not really talking about it. I think because we haven't heard much, and quite honestly, let's argue the past 2 years have been pretty lackluster when all things considered. The newest hardware we've seen from Apple has been the Apple Pencil and the AirPods. Like, I'm serious. I'm not even joking, right? Like, that is, when you talk about brand new hardware, That is all we've seen. But iOS 11 has a real opportunity to do something big. And, what it is, people may be like, yeah, whatever. I think Apple has been talking about augmented reality, I feel like, for the past year and a half or 2 years.
Oh yeah.
And I think iOS 11, this is an opportunity because, yeah, they're behind in the artificial intelligence voice assistant. We'll get to that in a little bit later with the Siri speaker. But augmented reality, they talk about it so much. And, Bloomberg had reported that they're working on it. What are you laughing at? Someone said
This
something.
picture of, is this Tim Stevens in this picture?
Oh, it is Tim Stevens in that picture.
It's a funny picture of him.
That's CNET's own Tim Stevens for people that can't
and he's
that
wearing
can't see it.
Google glasses probably like 5 or 6 years ago, and he
looks
like
completely
he's
dazed.
totally tripping out. Yeah.
But with augmented reality, I think Apple obviously had a hit, and it wasn't because of Apple per se. It was because of Pokemon Go. But they've hired a huge team over the past year. They've literally hired hundreds of engineers. They've grabbed talent from around the industry. And I really feel like we're going to see something big with augmented reality from Apple in iOS 11 on June the 5th, which is Monday. And then it'll also kind of lead into the phone. You've got to imagine some of the stuff they show us will work on the current phones, the current 7s, but maybe there'll be some little special add-ons that come out when the next phone comes out. But let me just kind of give people a little background because, this is a podcast form. We can kind of dig into it. This was reported earlier, probably around 2 weeks ago from Bloomberg. The thing is that because we didn't have a show last week, we weren't really able to dive into it. But when we talk about this team that Apple has assembled around augmented reality and where their priorities are at, it's being run by, this is according to Bloomberg, it's being run by former Dolby Laboratories executives and also engineers who worked on Oculus and HoloLens. Apple is actually working on several AR products, including digital spectacles that could connect wirelessly to your phone and then beam content from your phone, movies, maps, and more to the wearer. Now, this is not happening anytime soon. We're talking about glasses, but eventually we've seen sci-fi movies. They don't have phones. You know what I mean? Like the phone is one day arguably will go away. Do you agree with that, Beach?
Oh, totally. Yeah. And like most sci-fi movies, they either have just like a watch or like just some sort of little tiny device that'll like project something. Yeah, I don't ever see anyone with a phone.
So like if you talk about some of these crazy platform hires that Apple has done, right? They have this guy named Cody White, former lead engineer of Amazon's Lumberyard virtual reality platform. Another person, Duncan McRoberts, Meta's former director of software development. Yuri Petrov, former Oculus researcher. Ari Barziv worked on the HoloLens and Google Earth. Tim Cook has visited HoloLens. They have acquired a lot of third-party companies to kind of build this portfolio of knowledge that they can then put into their phones and their devices. But I just think that augmented reality, if there's a platform that maybe they can push forward and jump on because they have so many devices out there, and if they can show us at least kind of the first step of it being more applicable and be able to use on a daily basis, I think they have an opportunity to do this with iOS 11. I don't know exactly if they're going to blow it out of the water. This is all speculation, but I think that this WWDC, Apple has an opportunity to surprise us, and they typically have not had that opportunity because we know everything. So that's why my thinking is like, show us something. If you're talking this big game about augmented reality, it's time to show us something.
They have to show us something because the narrative among Apple fans and us, just around this building, the last couple of years has been like Apple is behind and they're, it's looking kind of sad and we want more innovation. Like all our phone calls are like, what is Apple going to do? We need more innovation. So they have to do something big. And I think that they know that too, especially after Google I/O just the other day. They know that they have to like hit a home run. So we'll see what they're going to do.
We will see. So, that's indications of iOS 11. There's also the other thing when we talk about iOS 11, remember there's iOS for the phone and there's iOS for the iPad. And we have complained about two totally different things, right?
And annoyingly different too.
Oh yeah. And so iOS 11, maybe we'll see something. We don't know. But again, macOS Sierra is going away. We have not heard a squeak out of that. We really have.
It's already going away, huh?
Yeah, I mean, there'll be a new version, right? So they'll name it after some new landmark / destination or mountain range or whatever they do with the latest versions of Mac OS. And then also what could be interesting, this is just a side thing, there's plenty of reports that have confirmed that Apple and Amazon have decided to strike a deal, and that the Amazon Video app will appear on Apple TVs, which is tvOS. So I've got to imagine at WWDC we're going to finally see what the Amazon Video app looks like on an Apple TV. I think that's a big deal.
Do you think they'll show that off during the keynote? Because I feel like I don't know if they would put Amazon up on the screen. I don't know why. That's
maybe
just me.
They might just put it on for like 2 seconds, but I think they're going to say it. I think they're going to say it at the keynote.
Okay.
It's WWDC.
Maybe we can make that part of the
bingo?
The bingo game. Yeah.
The bingo card? we always got our bingo card. I'll make sure I'll make sure we got our bingo card. And also, just kind of before WWDC, Apple typically announces this type of stuff within the keynote, but I think, again, this is going to be a jam-packed keynote, and we'll continue to go down the line. They released a press release saying and really touting and bragging that developer earnings from the App Store has now topped $70 billion. The global community has topped $70 billion since the App Store launched in 2008. It's now the home to what they say the most innovative apps in the world. In the past 12 months alone, downloads have grown over 70%. But here's also, if you read into that figure, $70 billion has gone out to developers. Guess how much Apple has made?
What do they make? Like 10% of that?
No, they make the split of all proceeds on the sale is 70-30. So Apple has made $30 billion.
Oh my gosh.
From creating a industry and a platform. You know, Apple obviously has to run the servers and deliver that blah blah blah.
That's easy.
You know, that's nothing. So Apple, although developers are getting 70 billion, Apple's getting 30 billion in their pockets too. So
this blog post that they did is interesting. Very Mario heavy, which tells me they're going to really be going after games, and you know, maybe there even be a cool Mario AR game. Who knows? But
well, I think they've got to show us a few demos if AR is going to be a focus. I'm not saying it is, but I think this is an opportunity for them to really show it off. So we'll see what they do. I want to see cool stuff, quite honestly.
Yeah, totally.
So there you go. Again, with the operating systems, we'll find out, but WWDC is heavily focused on that. But I do also think that this year there's going to be a lot of hardware. And really, when we talk about, you know, what can they do to improve and what is the biggest hardware piece in this puzzle, Beach, you're the one that clicked on it, right? You're curious about the Siri speaker, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious what it's going to look like, how smart it's going to be, what kind of things. I'm sure it's going to do a lot of things we already know all the other AI things can do. I'm just curious what it's going to look like, sound like, you know, just basic things everyone's interested in.
So have you read some of the stories of, so basically the rumors and rumblings are that this Siri speaker, at least visually, will look similar to a Mac Pro. Like it'll be a cylinder speaker. It'll have like a divot in the top. It'll have, you know, the ability to have multiple microphones and create a better virtual surround sound, potentially using some sort of Beats technology. I think I put a picture of it. It's one of the funny things that someone commented to me was like, "Oh, great, they can use all the Mac Pro shells that they didn't make computers out of, and admit that will be their Siri speaker."
That would be too big, actually. I think, because I mean,
of course it would be too big. Of course,
I've been living with the Dot, you know, and it's like a little hockey puck. It's tiny. Yeah. It's unobtrusive. It's like out of your way. Oh, yeah. You don't really notice it a whole lot. It's small, you know. If they build something that's big and looks like a thermos, then I don't think people are going to be into it, you know.
Oh yeah. Now, a recent report this week coming out from Bloomberg said that Apple is actually in production. The actual product, this actual Siri speaker, has entered overseas production ahead of the conference. And if that is the case, it's got to be a no-brainer that we will see it. We may not be able to touch it. We may not even be able to see many demos around it. I hope we can see some sort of a demo, at least on stage. But I'm going to put my money on it. And when I say I'm excited about WWDC, when we heard about the iPhone, this is not the same product by any means, but when we heard about the iPhone, everyone knew a phone was coming. They just didn't know what Apple was doing. Like everyone said, Apple's going to do a phone, but what is it? Those were different times where things were a lot more mysterious. Well, guess what? Everyone knows Apple's going to do a home speaker, so it gets me a little excited and curious about what they're going to do. I don't, other than the hooks with the ecosystem, I don't I don't subscribe to Apple Music, so I'm most likely just gonna keep my Amazon Echo in place. But
Totally.
I'm curious what they're gonna do with it.
Me too. I don't want them to make it look like what all the other ones look like. Like it has to be a square or a triangle or something instead of a thermos. I don't know.
It has to be a square. Yeah, it'll be an Apple TV. No, I'm just kidding.
A rectangle. I don't even care.
For the record, I don't think we're going to see an Apple TV at this WWDC. I know people have been asking me that a lot, but I think that's going to kind of hang out in their September event. I could be wrong, but man, someone should keep a scorecard of what we end up saying or not saying on here. But I think that the Apple TV will not appear. But the other thing about the Siri speaker, some of the differentiation that the company says, according to reports, is that it's going to have surround sound. It'll have hooks to the ecosystem. It'll obviously have hooks to the Apple Music, and that's great if you're an Apple user. But the market, the way that it's built right now, 70% of smart speaker users have an Amazon speaker. But then to our point, there's a lot of people that don't and will just buy whatever Apple puts out there just because Apple has that brand cachet. But Apple, this is not only is iOS 11 going to be a big deal. Look, they've got to show us really an entirely different Siri. To me, it's not even like Siri with, oh, we have more support for third-party apps. We have new features here and there. It has to be a completely gutted Siri that is basically, I won't even want to say next generation. I feel like it has to be a completely different AI. I'm not smart enough to build this. So people that always go like, oh, you're such a critic of this X, Y, and Z. No, I'm just saying they need a significantly better, smarter, and completely different feeling Siri to be able to successfully pull off this Siri speaker and hope that it leads them in the right direction just from a voice assistant AI as a whole, whether it's on their speaker or on their tablets or on their phones or whatever it is.
Do you think that they would have to completely rebrand Siri, even like possibly change the name of Siri? Because it almost seems like it's really old now,
I don't think they need to rebrand it, honestly. I think people, although it is old, and people forget that Apple had the lead in the market. Like they came out with Siri on a phone in 2011 with the iPhone 4S. They had the lead in the market, but they didn't really do anything with it. Like Siri isn't much smarter than it was when it first launched, quite honestly. It does a few more things, but I've never said, oh man, this voice recognition is twice as good as it was before. It was a little better. This does so much more. It just hasn't. So they got to keep that name for the branding. I mean, to your point, maybe they do gut it. Maybe they call it something else, right?
I mean, I would see that being huge, national, worldwide news if they rebranded Siri completely and like, we have a new assistant and her name is Siri or something different. Cheryl, we got Cheryl here.
Siri instead of Siri, it's Siri.
It's Siri, yeah. Siri Cruise. No, I'm just kidding.
So even on a Periscope, and we know this, right? Someone just said the comments go fast. Google's Assistant is the new benchmark, and it's true. And I don't expect Apple to catch up immediately, but they've got to do something where people like say, okay, this is significantly better than what we've been getting for the past 5-6 years. So, not only will iOS 11 be about augmented reality, I wouldn't even be surprised if they called augmented reality Apple reality because they're stupid like that. They're going to be like,
totally.
We have, we've got a new name for it. Apple reality. Gonna clap. People are gonna be going crazy, and I'm gonna be looking at you in that room, going like, "For reals, dude? Did they just do that?"
Yeah. So I mean, Siri, it's been around so long. Siri, I think, was the first robot that I actually talked to, and like, started getting things to do things. First robot I asked to do things for me. I don't know if I'm sure Siri's probably the first robot assistant anyone talked to, other than like,
I would say a majority of consumers. You're probably right.
Yeah.
Siri is I'm trying to think, was there anything else that I maybe, okay, how about this? A voice prompts on like customer service.
Yeah, totally.
The first one. But like a device that you own, you're right. Probably Siri was one of your first experiences.
Yeah. So, I feel like it seems super dated now. So they're gonna do something about that, I feel.
As Michael 1256 just said, Apple needs to get serious about AI.
Good one, Michael.
We having
He got me. He got me to chuckle. Good one.
Got me. All right. And kind of also other news that's supporting what Apple is doing here. Apple is also working on a dedicated chip to power AI on devices. Now, this is pretty cool, and this is again giving us an indication of how they're trying to build a new artificial intelligence, build a new Siri. This would be offloading tasks to a dedicated chip, which should also potentially help out with iPhone battery. So we know, right, Siri 2011 let people operate with their phones, but now they want to bring artificial intelligence chips to their platform. They're working, according to the report, Apple's working on a processor devoted specifically to AI-related tasks. The chip is known internally as the Apple Neural Engine, the ANE, the Apple Neural Engine. Now, it would improve the way the company's devices handle tasks that would otherwise require human intelligence, like facial recognition and speech recognition. According to their sources, this has not obviously been made public by Apple. Maybe we'll see them talk about this chip, which could be a part of their Siri speaker. And once they have a piece of hardware with the brains, with the guts inside of this, they can use that chip and put it in other products like Beats speakers, the Apple TV, but they've got to start somewhere first, right? So this Siri speaker is going to be their opportunity to learn about AI voice assistants firsthand, at least from a standpoint of using it in the living room, because I don't see people that have iPhones using their phones to talk to like they do with the Echo. Everyone that has an Echo, like you could say, oh, you've had a phone this whole time. Why don't you just use your phone? They just somehow Amazon struck a nerve with us, and they saw something we didn't see, which is what Apple normally and has done in the past. And I got an Echo too, but I had an iPhone. But why? Because the Echo's just better at doing that.
It is better.
It's better doing that.
I do sometimes wish that I could talk to my phone and control my Echo, through my phone if I'm upstairs. Like a couple days ago, I set an alarm and it was going off downstairs, and I was too lazy to go downstairs and yell at Alexa and be like, Alexa, stop the alarm. I wanted to go into my phone and be able to stop it. So I'm wondering if this chip will enable you to do stuff like that with the Siri speaker. And also, it sounds Apple Neural Engine. It sounds like it's going to be something that's going to be able to read our minds somehow in the future. I don't know. It sounds like it's going to be like reading our brain waves or something. So, or like we can think something, or it knows what we want when we walk into a room or something. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from the name of this chip.
We know how that Apple is already in our brains, right?
How?
We buy everything they put out. I don't, but I buy a lot of their crap, dude.
Well, there's all this like religious, there's all these people who believe like Apple kind of has like these religious kind of vibes with it, where people like worship it and they see it as, you know what I mean? There's been stories about it. It's hard for me to explain, but there's definitely people
treat it like it's like Apple cult status, right?
Yeah. It's like
it's beyond fanboy status. It's like I got a tattoo on my ankle or a tramp stamp of an Apple logo. For the record, I did not do that. I'm not saying that I did that. Let me be clear here, okay?
You should do that. That would be a great PR stunt.
No.
Even if it was like fake, like just have a Apple tramp stamp. That'd be funny, Brian. That's a video idea.
I'm gonna find and let's make sure it has the quote "Think different" right above it.
Think different.
Let's make sure. So with this AI chip, the goal is to have significant improvements to their hardware, maybe integrated into things beyond the Siri speaker we talked about. It's going to end up some way, shape, or form in your phones and your iPads, maybe with this Apple car platform that they're trying to build, this self-driving platform that they're working on. So this is a dedicated chip that handles all that stuff. And then the goal is also it helps with battery life. My question is, where are they going to find the space to put this chip in here unless it's really small? Because
that's what I was thinking too.
We know how Apple likes to make things slimmer.
Where's the real estate going to be? We're getting rid of the Thunderbolt port. Just kidding.
Give me battery, dog. Just give me battery, man. So we'll see how it is. But I think, before we take a little quick mid-roll break and get a word from our lovely sponsor, I think we're going to see a lot of exciting stuff from the operating systems. And I think the Siri speaker, I'm not expecting my mind to be blown, but it's exciting because we really don't know what it can do and what will make it different and what will make it compelling enough for someone to buy one. Like, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to buy one because I've got to test it against the Google Home and the Amazon Echo. So I might return it.
I don't think I'm going to buy the new phone. I don't think I'm going to get it, man. I'm still.
Wait, the phone or the speaker?
Or the speaker. I'm sorry. I thought you were onto the iPhone.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
No, I'm definitely not going to buy the speaker. Come on. I'm happy with my Echo.
If the Echo is $179, I think Apple's Siri speaker is going to be $249.
Ah.
I don't think it's going to be $199 because that's only $20 more than an Echo. Apple's like, we're worth 20 more bucks than an Echo. It's going to be $249, $249. I'm gonna put my money on that right now.
Well, it better have like a fan built in or something, something extra special.
Nostratonga says, "Well, yes." Okay, let's go check out a little bit of a break. We'll take a little break with our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Jamf. Now, as your business grows and you begin to buy more tech for your employees, it can be difficult to keep track of everyone's Macs, iPhones, and iPads. Thankfully, Jamf Now lets you manage your Apple devices from anywhere.
Jamf now secures your stuff so you can focus on your business instead. No IT expertise needed. With Jamf Now, you can configure settings, protect sensitive information, even lock or wipe a device from anywhere. So next time you need to secure the iPad that your sales rep lost on a business trip, Jamf Now has you covered. And as a special offer to our listeners, you could set up your first 3 devices for free. That's pretty awesome. Add more for just $2 a month per device and start securing your business today.
Can you say that one more time? No, I don't want you to.
And start securing your business today.
So check this out. Go to jamf.com/crunchy to create a free account and set up 3 free devices today. That's Jamf, jamf.com/crunchy. Hey, you notice that they fixed it from crunch to crunchy?
Yes, they are listening to us.
They listen to the podcast and the show, and we just want to say thank you so much, Jamf, for backing us up. And if you're in a business like this, it's gonna help you out. I know, because I lost my iPad. Someone stole it.
Oh man, I heard that, dude. That is awful.
My
that is
iPad freaking Pro.
Where did it get stolen from?
Here, I'm not gonna accuse someone until I actually see it being done, but I believe it might have happened at work.
Oh no.
I don't know for sure. Someone tried to get into it because Apple asked me to reset my ID password, and so and to find my iPhone, find my iPad doesn't work because there was no internet connection. So everyone that said use the cloud, it's not on the grid, y'all. It's not on the grid.
That is a huge bummer, man.
But if I do find it, I will apologize to anyone I accused of stealing it because I have my eyes on a few people at work. I'm just playing around. Wow. But yeah, it's my iPad Pro, dog.
Man, you wrote a song about it and everything. That is so. I'm very sorry, man. It's terrible.
It just made me cry. Okay. Since we're in a depressed state of mind right now, talking about iPads, another piece of hardware that we are expecting to see at the keynote is the rumored 10.5-inch iPad Pro. Now, I won't go through everything about it because we kind of we've talked about it so much. This is the iPad that will have thinner bezels. So according to reports, and actually there have been case leaks that are already out there, and you can check it out if you're watching this.
This case looks awful on this one, by the way.
Well, the case is a prototype case, but it'll just be slightly wider and slightly taller. When I say slightly, not even a half an inch, probably a quarter of an inch compared to the 9.7-inch iPad. So it'll be just barely larger, but because less bezels means bigger screens. We also expect to see, there are cases that have been put out for the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. Perfect timing for me. And the main feature here is that, I'm telling you, man, right now, the microphone is kind of near the headphone jack on the iPad Pro, but with this new design, the microphone will be centered on the rear part, and then the camera on these new iPad Pros, according to these case design leaks, as well as renders we've seen, is that the camera will also stand vertically, much like the iPhone. Apple's going vertical, y'all.
Vertical.
I feel like I'm one of the few people who loves the iPad like a lot.
No, I love it too. I love it. You know, I use it all the time, mostly for my kids, but I do love it. You know.
Yeah, the renders also show that the iPads will indeed have headphone jacks, just to let you know.
Thank you.
And then in addition to that, we may or may not see an Apple Pencil, but when we talked about kind of some of the indications of iOS 11 being different for the iPad versus the iPhone, if they do come out with a new Apple Pencil, that's cool. A while ago, if people remember, during the time when iOS 10 was potentially coming out, the reports were that it was going to get new features like maybe better handwriting recognition, new capabilities specifically with the pencil, but that didn't actually happen in iOS 10. And so the thinking is that all those things that they have been working on, maybe they perfected it. They've just been waiting for iOS 11 to drop not only a new pencil but new functionality. And my hope, because I've been railing on them, is that we see significantly better features, usability out of the iPad Pro.
Yeah, I haven't really got a chance to play with the iPad Pro, but
Woo! I'm sorry, man. Oh, I'm sorry. It's so dope. I lost it. It was so dope. It was so dope. Someone stole it from me.
Man, that is sad.
But some of the things that stand out to me with the iPad Pro, the tablets in general, this is kind of a jerk move. Apple is still yet to give us multiple user support on the iPad. And look, sure, it would be nice for them to do that. And I get it. They probably aren't, because they're like, oh, we'd rather you buy more iPads. But it's such a D move, man. Like, Android tablets have had it for years, like multiple users on a freaking iPad. Like, come on, man. Like, for reals. Really?
Yeah, I would love that, because there's a lot of things on my iPad that I would like to lock down. But yeah, what are you gonna do? Just gotta buy another iPad, I guess.
For reals, dude.
Well, they're all going. Well, you get one of the iPad Minis because they're so cheap right now, because they're going away. So.
And here's the thing that stuck out of my mind, and someone reminded me on the chat. They do it for education. Like, if you buy an education batch of iPads, they have the feature. They just decided, really? Yeah, they just decided they don't want to give it to consumers. Like, come on, man.
So the education iPads have like a separate OS or something?
Not a separate OS. I mean, it might be a tweaked version or something that is unlocked. But when, like, let's say a school buys a batch of 30 or 40 iPads for education purposes, they have the ability to support multiple users.
Yeah, that is kind of a D move.
You were laughing.
I did not know that.
D move, and now you're like, yeah, that is a D move.
It is a D move, man.
Beach and Tong on the same page. That's a D move, Apple.
Yeah.
All right, and finally, hardware-wise, we do expect new MacBooks and MacBook Pros. They are expected to be getting the new KB Lake, not new. They are expected to get KB Lake processors. KB Lake has been out, honestly, for a while. But I'm really curious if they heard my calls. I don't think they're going to do it. But dang, they need to put out a 15-inch MacBook Pro without a touch bar.
Totally. I think they listen to you, Brian. I think they're pretty well tuned into you, more than you think, actually.
I think they are, but I just ignore that fact because, because like, I'm just talking as a person who's a fan and a consumer who has ups and downs with the company. So whether they hear me or not, I mean, at the end of the day, they could be like, hey, Brian, why don't you build it? And I'll just go to my corner and say, I can't, like, it's funny because, yeah, guess what? We have jobs because of Apple. We are thankful for that, right? We got to talk about Apple. My brain is like a sponge of all their stuff. But at the end of the day, could I improve Apple's Siri algorithm? Hell no.
Hell no.
Although I would find a way for it to support multiple timers, which it cannot do.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You ever use the Echo to cook or do different tasks and like set multiple timers?
Now I have a timer where it just goes off and I'm like, okay, kids, it's time to go to bed.
Dude, Siri can't do multiple timers.
That is sad.
So if you set one for 20 minutes and then you ask it to be like, set one for 30 minutes, it'll be like, oh, you already have one for 20 minutes. Do you want to change that?
Yeah, that happens to me all the time.
Dude, are you serious?
So then you got to set an alarm. You got to set it as the other extra timer should be an alarm. You know what I mean? It's a little different, but works the same. If you say set my alarm for 20 minutes from now, then it'll set like 20 minutes ahead in the future or something, which is silly, but it works.
Yeah, so the rumblings, at least with the MacBooks, is that we are expecting to see new MacBooks. So that would include the 12-inch super thin design. We're expecting to see new MacBook Pros. These are really refreshes or updates with the internal specs. And then the third thing is that might happen. We potentially could see a new MacBook Air. That is their 13-inch kind of first of all, their most affordable MacBook right now, but it was what the MacBook Air used to be back in the day. It's what the 12-inch MacBook used to be to the product line, that kind of super sleek design. I had a MacBook Air back in the day. It's now in the possession of my niece, who somehow wrangled it from me for free and didn't pay a cent.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're good, Uncle. Good Uncle Brian.
I could still sell that thing on eBay and make some money, dude. That's the hardest part to resolve within myself. But
it's all good.
Anyways,
you've invested in her future, so it's all good.
Yeah, her future playing Minecraft, dude. It's a Minecraft machine.
People are doing some incredible things in Minecraft, Brian.
I'm not saying they're not. Also, to kind of give you an indication that new MacBook Pros are coming, according to French website Consomac, they discovered new Russian regulatory filings from the Eurasian Economic Commission's database that points towards at least 5 new models of computers running macOS Sierra launching soon.
Well, we're sure this isn't fake news because it's from Russia, right? This is real news. To all our Russian friends listening, we love you, man.
You are killing me right now. I almost just completely lost it. So those Apple part numbers are there. Also, the Apple online store has updated to indicate that MacBook Pro orders that are placed, let's say you place an order today just for the heck of it, they're now estimated for delivery between June 6th and June 8th.
Ooh,
and that's surprising because normally they've actually had more than enough inventory to just send it within a day, but being pushed out about a week or so, week and a half.
Yeah.
It would indicate that you're probably going to be able to get a new model or even if you ordered one at that time, they might actually just be like, oh, we have the new model out. Would you like it?
That's pretty cool.
So, potentially fake news, not fake news parts for potential MacBooks. Also, the report says there was a spare part number that could be a wireless keyboard and 4 classified under an iOS 10 device, which to me is all about the iPad Pros. So even the part numbers that are being thrown around there indicate that we're going to see hardware here at WWDC, and that is exciting for me.
Cool, man. Join us Monday morning, 9 a.m. We're doing
9 a.m.
We're doing it live.
We'll be here Monday morning, 9 a.m. And then the actual keynote will go at 10. We'll have our commentary. We'll take live calls. So just make sure to hang out with us at CNET.com or wherever you find us. Live stream, YouTube. We can Periscope it too, right?
We're going to Periscope it, YouTube it, live stream it.
All right. Sounds good. Okay. Should we get to the calls, bro?
Let's do some calls. Thank you all for calling. We got a lot of calls because we were away last week. So let me just queue them up. Here we go. Whoop. Let me stop the music. There we go. Okay, here we go.
Hello, this is George Haynes from Houston, Texas. I just want to know your thoughts on the new Braggy Dash Pro. Do you think that's the best wireless earbuds for the Apple iPhone? Anyway, I love the show, guys. Thanks.
Braggy Dash Pro. I'm going to look that up while you're talking.
So they have the new Braggy Dash Pro. I've been able to use multiple Dash products. I think that, how about this? They have a few features that make them interesting. The ambient sound feature where you can kind of hear through your headphone while hearing the outside world can be nice, but I think in a weird way, you just normally naturally end up just turning down the volume.
Yeah.
I think they look the best, but the biggest issue I had with the Braggy Dash and Braggy Dash Pros is they don't sound anywhere nearly as good as the Apple AirPods. The actual audio quality versus the Beats headphones, the Beats wireless headphones, as well as Apple AirPods, they sound significantly better than the Dash headphones.
That's a big issue for me because
significantly
the Apple earbuds sound amazing. Like compared to a lot of other headphones, that's a big no-no for me then.
They don't have much bass in the Braggies. And if you like your hip hop or your deep beats, you're not going to get it from there. The audio quality sounds a little tinny, even when you're making calls in and out. Both people on the other side of the line, as well as myself, clearly felt that the AirPods perform and the Monster Beats perform better than the Braggies. So I'm just being real with my assessment because I've been able to experience both the Braggy and the Braggy Dash Pros versus AirPods and Beats headphones. And when I say Beats, I'm talking about like the earbud Beats. You have the Beats X and the workout ones. So I'm just saying from an audio quality standpoint, that's turned me off so much that I would probably not lean towards them at the moment. But that's my opinion. I'll let you figure out what you want, my man. But there you go.
I wonder if you can get like an audio demo of them in a store or something.
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay, next call. Here we go.
Hey, this is Brody from Tampa again. This is for Steven. I just want to let you know that on the latest update of iOS 10.3.2, they actually made it so you can actually turn iTunes sideways. I know you were complaining about that. So just thought I'd let you know. Love the show. Thanks.
That's great news. I actually had some music I wanted to play as a reaction to that. Okay. Now this is great news and everything, but I tried it. I have 10.3.2 and I can't get it to work. So please, here, look, I have Aphex Twin right here, turning it sideways. I cannot get it to work.
That's your music app? Okay,
This
is your screen locked? Your screen locked,
No,
bro?
my screen is not locked. My screen is not locked. As you can
Screen
see,
is
unlocked screen. I'm gonna actually play the song. Little Aphex Twin there. I can't get it to do it, so help me. I went into settings. I went everywhere. I don't know how to do it.
Yo,
Please
bro,
call me back and explain.
I'm gonna turn mine sideways too.
What's up? You got 10.3.2?
I got 10.3 bro.
So is this guy fake news? I think he might have been giving us some fake news.
Oh, killing me. Okay.
So
next
right,
call.
we tried
Hey,
it. It didn't work.
Hey,
Thanks.
can you keep that Hallelujah song standby? Because I've used that in my shows too, and it makes me feel so good whenever we can use it.
It's wonderful, yes. Hallelujah. Handle Messiah. Thank you. Okay. That's it. All right. Let's go to the next
All
one.
royalties will be funneled directly to Handle Messiah's.
I think that one might be in the public domain by now.
Oh, it is because it's been so old.
He's been dead for years and years, so I think we can use that one.
Force him out for Handle.
Sony might hit us up. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, next call.
What's up, guys? Big fan of this show. My name is Easy. I had a question for y'all. So, since the fingerprint sensor is going to be in the back of the phone, one thing that bothers me is that battery life on phones is getting way worse. And so I always have a battery pack. With a sensor on the back, how am I going to put a battery pack on my phone? All right, thanks, guys. I love the show. Keep it going. I'll talk to you later.
I have an answer for him on that.
Go for it.
You're not going to be able to use a battery pack if they put the fingerprint sensor on the back.
You're gonna put it on the front. Just put it on the front. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that is an issue. The thing is that I have a Google Pixel as well as an iPhone. Sorry to break it to you guys because I like both platforms for different reasons, and it's my job to play on both. I didn't put a case on my Google Pixel at all because of the fingerprint sensor on the back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't because I wanted to be able to be accessible. I mean, some people just be like, forget it, I'll put on a battery pack, I'll just type in the code, and that's what they do, but not everyone does.
Who knows? Maybe the new phone's going to have an extended battery life, that's going to be...
Potentially.
It's going to break records or something. We'll see.
Potentially. Okay.
Okay, next call.
Beach and Tong, what's going on? This is Steven out in Austin, Texas. I decided we get a lot of questions about what should I buy or what should I get. I'm going to flip this. I work in a school district. I currently use a MacBook Air. I would like something more powerful. I don't know if I should wait and ask for a new one or what, but how would you approach your bosses about getting upgraded to a new device? Just going to kind of ask you guys what you do to get it done. Any help would be appreciated. Thank you much. Love the show. Keep up the great work. Bye.
How would you do that, Brian?
Well, I would start off with a box of chocolates, maybe some flowers, a nice little back massage, and a yummy steak dinner, like the biggest steak dinner. And then I would ask my principal superior if I could get a MacBook Pro without a touch bar.
No touch bar.
No touch bar. No touch bar. No, you know what? I don't know what his system is like, but I think that if he wants one with more power, if you want to do any type of video editing, you've got to get a MacBook Pro. But you know, with the new Kaby Lake processors being put into the 12-inch MacBook and MacBook Pros, if really you just want a more nimble machine that's still super light, that MacBook Pro 12-inch looks pretty compelling to me if they throw in a Kaby Lake processor in there. Now, it's not confirmed if they will because it's so thin, and if they have a Kaby Lake that can support that form factor, but dang, that'd be pretty juicy. But quite honestly, because of the work that I do, video and stuff, I got to go large with the 15-inch MacBook Pro, so without a touch bar.
Yeah, just maybe take your laptop out back and run over it or something with your car, beat it with a baseball bat, and then be like, take it to your boss and be like, it's broken. I need a new one.
Fake and break?
Fake and break, yeah.
Fake and break. Let's go fake and break.
I dropped this off a building. I need a new one, please.
That sounds like fake and break to me.
Fake and break, baby. Shake and bake.
Fake and break.
Okay, ready? Let me see the next call. Here we go. I think this is the one we just listened to.
Beach and Tong.
Yes, here we go.
Dear Tong and Beecham, this is the real alt left calling from Detroit. Apple, please stop submitting to the corporate hacks of Google. A majority of the time, I use my phone to play audio of YouTube videos in the background. Currently, Opera and Dolphin permit playing the video's audio in the lock screen. I'm looking into more browsers that will not restrict the enjoyment of my device. Until Safari, Firefox, or Chrome allow video audio in the background, I will continue the fight. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. This is Apple. It's time to think different.
All right. Cool.
I mean, I swear that I've been able to play YouTube videos with my phone's lock screen.
There was a way to do it. I can't do it. And if you turn off your screen during a YouTube video, if you're just listening to music, then it just stops. So
there used to be a way to watch it. I swear.
And also, he's saying you can't control it or press play or anything from
when
the screen's locked, like you can with the music and stuff like that. I can with Sirius. I can with Sirius satellite radio. I can with music apps. You can't do it with YouTube and other things like that. So that is a gripe. I would love to be able to turn off YouTube, just turn off the screen and still be able to listen to whatever I was listening to or watching, because YouTube music's a big thing now. So I don't know.
Sure.
But
I thought what you could do. Look, I'm pretty sure. Hold on. I'm going to try this. I thought that you can lock the screen, and then if you tap your screen again and go to the controls, you can play your song again. Okay. Anyways, I used to be able to do it, man.
I'm pretty sure the NSA is tracking that guy too, by the way.
They probably just tracked me too. I used to listen to it with locked. I don't know. I'm getting confused. He confused me, especially with his authoritative fast. It's kind of like authoritative it's like V for Vendetta
Yeah, he was trying to that's what he was going for.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That is a problem for me. I do run into that. Okay, next call.
People are also saying use the
from
Tubi
LA.
app.
What's that?
People are saying use the Tubi app.
Tubi.
Tubie.
Oh, so it's like a different app.
Third party app.
That's going to play YouTube videos through it or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a mess.
I'm okay. I'd rather just close my eyes and relax.
Okay, next call.
Hey guys, it's Ikoxi from LA. Since WWDC is happening next week, I was wondering if it'd be a missed opportunity if Apple doesn't do a complete redesign of the iOS. I know you mentioned that it probably won't happen, but I was thinking about it, and I think it'd be the most appropriate time since all the previous 11 versions of the iOS have been built with the fundamental idea of a physical home button. It doesn't make sense for Apple to just maintain the same structure. I've seen a few renders, and even though they're just speculative, it looks kind of dumb if removing the home button will just give us another row for more apps, as we've seen with the iPhone 5 and the iPhone 6. Since there's so much, air quotes, innovation buzz around the iPhone future, I think it'd be the perfect time to restructure the iOS, even if it's just a little, just to change and have a fresh look. What do you guys think? Thanks. Love the show. Bye.
Hey, Beach and Tong, this is Brian.
I think our listener is right on the money.
Yeah.
They have a great opportunity to do it. We'll see if the home button goes away, ripe opportunity. And, he's saying everything right. The concepts of the renders that are out there show what it might be like without a home button. But we'll wait and see. I think that it's still going to look very relatively similar. There just might be some new mechanics and new features because of the removal of the home button. I don't think they're going to completely revamp it, but we will see. We will see. That's why it's fun. I think that's why it's cool.
One thing
kind of like not knowing anything.
One thing I don't agree with him about is adding another row of apps on the screen, because it's just gonna be too busy. I remember when they added the extra row, and we were kind of like, okay, cool, but I don't know, that's not a big deal to me. It just looks too busy, whatever.
It's just not a big deal. It's
yeah,
just not a big deal.
I don't care about another row.
Yeah.
Okay, next one, last one.
Hey, Beach and Tong, this is Brian from New Orleans. Wanted to quickly talk about Apple CarPlay. Recently, I test drove a car with it in it, and while it was not a loan enough to make me buy the car, I was pretty impressed with it. A little disappointed that there were so few apps for it, and even when I went on the website, there's just not a lot of options there. So I'm assuming as developers, they need them to go ahead and jump on the bandwagon and develop more for it. Really liked how it read the text messages and to you as they came in. And Siri was actually pretty impressive, based off of all of the other terrible car AI systems that are there. So just wanted to get your opinion on that. It's not something that people talk a whole lot about. Didn't know if, something at WWDC, if that was on the radar at all, or if they're just pretty much happy with the way it is. Thanks.
Great call. I think that we don't really talk about CarPlay that much because it's still one of those things that people aren't talking about. But I think to your point, bring it up. What I found interesting about CarPlay versus Android in the car is kind of two different ways of how they approach it. First of all, Siri's integration is really nice. What Google does with Android's platform, with Android Car's platform, is they actually pretty much make your phone kind of like a dummy phone, so you can't go to it and you can't look at it. And then also you have the advantage, really, quite honestly, with using Google Maps as your primary maps platform on Android. Now, on the CarPlay side, the reason why you don't see many third-party apps is because, like anything, whenever Apple is dealing with their own software and their own APIs, they're very controlling about who can come in and who can't. So, quite honestly, it's not that developers don't want to get on CarPlay. It's that Apple is very selective of who they choose, much like they're really selective of who they allowed to get access to their Siri API to be able to speak directly using Siri commands to specific apps. So that's just kind of in Apple's DNA. They do it because they want, the best experience, but at the same time, not all your favorite apps, or you feel like, oh, it's a lot more limited from that respect. So I think they're both good for different reasons. I know Beach and I don't. If we had to choose, if you had to put say, oh, you got to choose one map or the other, we're going to choose Google Maps every day.
By far.
Right?
I had to download Apple Maps the other day, and just to do one thing, I forget what it was, but immediately deleted after I finished that one thing. Immediately. Just deleted it right away. So, yeah.
That's hilarious, dude.
I forget what it was like. Some app was telling me I have to do something through Apple Maps. I was like, oh, crap. So I went and downloaded it, and then right away got rid of it.
Sorry about that, bro.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. But,
all right.
Yeah, it's just, there's not a lot of, I haven't seen any cars. I mean, my car hooks up with USB. I have like a little thing that mounts on my, dashboard. And basically my phone is my Apple CarPlay. I don't see anything else. I don't need it embedded in my car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my phone already does everything I really need it to do. And also, if Siri's going to be reading me text messages, that's bad. I don't want that. Especially my family's in the car. My friends text me like some BS, or something.
Oh, no.
I don't want it reading anything to me out loud. So
I specifically hate it. I do not want any of Beecham's texts to be read out loud for me. It's going to be like, hey, Brian, what are you doing? Eggplant, 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 squirt, squirt, squirt.
Sunglasses face emoji.
I'm like, dude, I'm in the car with my nieces. He's like, yeah, so what's up? Eggplant, 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 squirt, squirt, squirt.
Yeah, that's how we communicate. Totally. And then Brian's gonna be, I'm gonna be sending like I'll be driving, and then Siri is gonna come on and be like, Steven, have you seen Apple Byte on YouTube yet? There's a problem.
Why? Wait, why do I talk like that? You piece of crap.
No, that'd be cool if you could assign people different voices. That would be awesome, though. I would have fun.
Like high pitch annoyed voice, because that's clearly what you think I sound like. You piece of crap. Emoji.
That's what your words sound like, not your voice.
Emoji poo poo. Emoji poo poo on you.
Anyway,
right.
That's it. That's the show, man.
Yes. So it'll be a really big time. I'm excited about it. Again, Monday, 9 a.m. on CNET.com. You can see all our coverage or YouTube live stream and Periscope. We'll be doing it live, and then we'll have a post show. We'll figure out if we can get a guest to come in the studio, because a lot of our editors are there. So we don't know all the time. Like sometimes we see them, sometimes we don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll do our best, but we love guests. Don't even trip. We like guests, but it's not always. Our schedules are crazy. They're all over the place.
I'm seeing a lot of eggplant squirt in the chat room now on YouTube. Thanks, guys.
All right, y'all. Remember, guys and gals, call us 1-800-616-2638 or tweet us your emoji sequence, whatever you feel like. We're gonna get out of here.
Yeah, CNET Live.
Have a great weekend. CNET Live.
Hashtag ABXC. I'm just putting that up on the screen. That's our new lower third.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I love it. Hashtag ABXC. Tweet us, y'all. All right. Are we good to go, Beach?
We're good, man.
Okay. I think I'm ready to go home.
All right.
Go Warriors!
Warriors!
Warriors!